How do you feel about marijuana smokers? I sincerely hope that all the people in this thread who act like marijuana is such a terrible thing and people that use it are no good losers never, ever drink alcohol. Because that would be some serious hypocrisy right there. Can it have negative consequences? Sure. Does it have benefits? Absolutely. Just like alcohol, with moderation, and even what's considered moderation, depends a lot on the person using it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with using marijuana. I personally don't, but that's only because it's still illegal in my state and because of my line of work. Pisses me off. Live in the UK where the shit is illegal, but I smell it around 5 times a day. I hate the smell and the stuff fucks with the brain. Can't comprehend why people smoke the stuff. I really just treat it like beer. If you like to have it to enjoy yourself at parties, or maybe have a bit to relax after work, I'm cool with that. I don't smoke it, but I don't mind when other people do. It doesn't smell as bad or leave as disgusting of a taste in your mouth as when you're around cigarette smoke either, haha. It only just gets really annoying when they treat smoking weed like it's their favorite hobby, or when they act like being a weed smoker is a personality trait. I'm a smoker, but the thing that upsets me is people not using common sense when smoking in public. If you are going to smoke, step aside away from people and kids. Be discreet. Like anything else, don't make your vice your personality. Don't grow dependent. Pretty much the same things as far as tobacco, alcohol, etc. If you can't have a good time or be happy without it, then there's a problem. Happy for them. But I don't want to smell it, especially in public places like parks. And don't smoke in your backyard if the neighbor's kids are outside playing. Apart from, widespread legalization means the next 20 years will be an experiment. Research we should have done 50 years ago will now take place. Does weed decrease or increase lifespans? Does weed lead to mental illness, or improve things for people who are neurotic? Unpopular onion, so I accept the Darwin votes here, but I am not a huge fan. Now, of course, there could be many marijuana smokers amongst me that I'm not even aware of, but in high school and many of my jobs the people who were known as marijuana smokers were where it became unreliable friends and co-workers. Some of my closest friends in high school started getting into pot, and over the course of a year they became different and, in my opinion, worse versions of themselves. They got worse grades, missed more school, stopped doing sports, and just overall got kinda crappy. Now, of course, I know this is all conjecture, and my view is narrowed by my own experiences, which is why I don't really care, but overall it left such a bad taste in my mouth that even years later I don't enjoy the smell or the attitude that it sometimes brings along with. I think there are healthier alternatives, like using a vaporizer. Actual smoke is going to be more carcinogenic regardless of the plant. Leagues better than 6 still. If you keep it on the down low, I could give a bleep. I smoke occasionally, like 2 to 3 times a year. I don't like when people make it their personality. I don't have issues with people who smoke weed. I've done it a few times. I take issue with people who base their entire lives and character around it. These are the people who are constantly talking about it. Constantly bringing up weed references every chance they get. Never going out of the house to do anything indoors, staying inside to smoke up. People who think going to the local smoke shop to look at bongs and pipes is a fun Friday night. People who act like smoking weed should come with a badge of honor. To be fair, I'd feel the same way about someone who let any hobby or activity take over their lives. Much better than drunks or pill addicts. I can't drink because I'm allergic. I'm really thankful that there is something for me because it definitely eases social anxiety. You do you. But it's kinda sad when someone denies that they're addicted to it but seem to need it in order to function on a daily basis. Go ahead and smoke if you want to, but don't do it at an age where it can cause problems, and try not to get addicted before you witch hunt me. I'm not saying weed is naturally addictive. People can get addicted to anything to escape. Also, don't be an absolute moron and drive while high. The smell is truly awful to everyone who doesn't smoke, and stoners can never smell it themselves, which is kinda annoying. Don't have any issue with stoners who don't put themselves else or others in danger. Just don't be an idiot and drive, and if you're going to smoke it in the park, have the decency of buying some that doesn't smell like bleep. My state recently legalized medical marijuana, and I got my card. A lot of people I know got their card and went overboard. A couple of them work from home, so they would spend all day every day alone and smoking, and it changed them. Another couple of people I know do edibles and smoke all day. They don't have jobs, and they have become stupid, and they didn't have much smarts to spare. So, I'm seeing that it's not the golden answer to life. Moderation is key. I do smoke pot from time to time, but I fucking hate stenners. With stenners I mean those who use weed as a substitute for a real personality. They act like they are some kind of freedom fighters or something just because they do nothing but smoke a dried leaf. I started smoking my freshman year of college. It was a ritual for me and my close friends to come together and smoke on weeknights where we didn't have class early the next morning. I still look back on those nights as being some of the most fun of my life, because it was like having a party each night with my buddies. 4 years later and it seems like a lot of them just stopped caring about progressing themselves in life. I'm still trying to finish up my last semester next fall, graduating late because I had a full-time internship last spring, but my friends who did graduate are still working their college jobs without even trying to put their degrees to use. The ones who didn't graduate are dropouts. I'm still close with them and we play games on Steam frequently, but I can't help but feel that smoking all that week night after night had the worst effect on their work ethic. I just want better for my friends because I know they're all decently smart, most of them entering school with a scholarship. I guess to answer your question, I like weed smokers who don't let getting high become a priority over everything else in your life. Go ahead and smoke it, don't care. But stop bragging about it and acting like you're cool by putting it everywhere around yourself and adding it to your bio or whatever. Don't smoke it and put you and others in danger in the certain situation. It has the same. I'm not a fan of being around them. For one, I don't like the smell of it. For two, it's next to impossible to hold a conversation because they are so spaced out. For three, at least the smokers I know cannot fathom the thought that I don't like the feeling of being high. It's just incomprehensible to them. It just holds no merit for me. But on the other hand, as long as it's not hurting me, and they aren't smoking right in front of me, I guess I shouldn't care too much. Mad respect. Tried it when I was in high school, hated it. Became an alcoholic instead, as is the usual in small towns. Pot/drugs or alcoholism, choose a path. Seeing a lot of buddies from the military getting medically retired/separated after 18 years of war, being pumped full of steroids, painkillers, and antidepressants only to gain weight, because the VA/military medical system prescribed them the shit that makes them gain weight. Getting out, dumping their pills in the toilet and either lighting up a joint or using oils, and they're finally in a moment of clarity. It's fucking awesome. My neighbor retired at about 260 hash, probably about 5'9". Blown up about 7 times in his career. Immediately got his marijuana license, grew pot, and used oil. Was down to his normal weight of about 200 to 210 within 2 months and absolutely loving life again. Have nothing against them, used to enjoy it myself for a while and still do on a rare occasion. My only irritation is when weed is almost their entire identity, especially if they purposely avoid advancing in life if it requires any kind of cutbacks on using it. You do you, but I don't want to have to deal with any of it. I don't want to smell it, it's disgusting, and I don't want to deal with anyone when they're high, either. And don't drive high or smoke around children. My neighbors smoke it, in our non-smoking building, and the hallway reeks and the smell drifts into my apartment and I do not appreciate it one bit. They also smoke a ton in their vehicle and the smell that wafts out of it is hella strong and gag-worthy. Much like alcohol and cigarettes, I feel you shouldn't be using it as a crutch. And it may be legal now in Canada, but I'll never do it. I smoke only at home after a long day work. It helps me relax and eat better and sleep good. That's how I associate it with. Outside the house for social things? I could never. Visited Amsterdam and didn't even do it there or eat a brownie at a cafe. Did take it home to the hotel though. I used to be adamant against pot, because drugs are bad. I'm not against it anymore, but it stinks like hell and I wish people at work would go their cars and smoke it instead of loitering in front of the doors, because when you walk in it's a cloud of stink. I also think it stinks worse than six. I'd rather smell six than pot. I don't like smelling the smoke. If they smoke then okay, do it at your own place. Don't do it at work, and if you can't pass a drug test I won't hire you. If you smoke don't put me down as a reference for a job either. Had several renters try to rent the spare bedroom in my apartment that smoked weed. Nope, not gonna do it. Stan. I've been told a lot of things about pot, but I've come to find out a lot of those things aren't true. So I don't know what to believe. Ranty. Well, Stan, the truth is marijuana probably isn't gonna make you kill people, and it most likely isn't gonna fund terrorism, but well, son, pot makes you feel fine with being bored. And it's when you're bored that you should be learning some new skill or discovering some new science or being creative. If you smoke pot you may grow up to find out that you aren't good at anything. Just like any kind of smoker, it honestly annoys me when they do it in public, as in when there's too many people. If you do it, just don't do it in front of people. I like it. I smoke sometimes but not all the time. It does bug me when I don't want to smoke or dab or whatever the like you don't want to just like puff it or do a baby dab like ma. I get anxiety sometimes and I know myself it won't help this time. Also to ease times when I don't want to feel high. Being sober is a trip too. I used to smoke it all the time in my 20s, but since then, I've smoked it about 5 times and I turn 40 next week. Had fun with it, time to move on.